Well, I always called her Han, but she calls me 1001. See, Penicillin Penny likes to boogie when the day gets done. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demand more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lie. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Keep everybody not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mic. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spelling you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah, signaling their pick on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills for Sasquatch Shills, so you don't have to. I have backstage right now with me one of the more interesting channels I've come across in a little while. Most channels can tell you straight up what it is they plan on doing, what it is that they have put together, and why they're doing the thing they're doing. I talked to this dude for a couple hours after the show one night while I was on vacation and quite inebriated. And I couldn't tell you the difference. I don't have no clue what his channel's actually about. I'm assuming it's modern men in America, maybe something along those lines, but it's just generally everything. And we talk about it all. So without further ado or further gilding the lily, Resla, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thanks for inviting me on, man.
Yeah, bud, you're one of the more interesting channels I've come across in a minute. Most people have some line of bullshit they're trying to lay down right on its surface, and it's obvious when you come across those channels. And usually they involve a contract real early on, or something. They're trying to act like they're super legalistic or something, and I don't know. I don't cotton to those types. We were talking after your show one night, and I asked you what your channel was about, and you gave me 4 different answers in the space of about 10 minutes. Your first answer was, it's about things that are happening in the world today. And I think that's about the most accurate answer I've gotten out of you.
Okay.
Your second answer was it's sort of the YouTube space and the headspace people are in, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing here.
Okay.
Uh, that you're reacting to other things other people do, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. You choose your topics and you go at it with a bit of a single-minded flair, and I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of everything, but if possible, can you tell everybody what your channel's about?
Sure. So it's the Resla channel, yes. So it can encompass a lot of things, but so far I've been putting up a particular show called Opinionated because, quite frankly, we all have opinions. The concept of the show is that we want to cover things that people are going through all the time. That's why I say we kind of cover everything, whether it's the trends, whether it's actual things that are going in personal life, the everyday BS that we going through, whether it's something that generations are fighting about, whether people have their particular takes on their processes in their mind when it comes to like politics, what the things that everyday people go through. Now, what hits home, the central core message of the actual show is that people are on the internet all the time. People are looking at their favorite content creators. People are getting into messages where they get into spaces to be in an echo chamber. And I see people on a regular basis who are either they're in people's chats because they like to look at content creators, or in their real life, talking to family members, talking to friends, talking to coworkers, and spitting narrative and talking points because they have been listening to the same messages and feeding off the same rhetoric over time. So when I have conversations with people about the things that they're actually talking about, I challenge if the things that they are actually expounding upon are their actual true thoughts, or is it the things that they have just been subjected to over time? Are
Right.
your thoughts truly your own thoughts, or are you just giving me talking points?
You also have a tendency of attracting a particular type of speaker. I think you'll weed these people out directly, but we'll discuss it in the after show more distinctly. But these are people I refer to as panel chillers. They're not intentionally here to kill a panel. They're here to control the narrative and discussion that's taking place on the panel. These are the people who show up and they yell down everyone else on the panel, or and I'm not going to name specific names. I'm sure you can figure out who we're talking about. People who are speaking vicariously about other people, right? And either one of these is just a non-starter for a panel. So if you're doing an approach towards like a debate channel, a debate sphere type of thing, you need to watch for these folks and try to mark them in your mind who they are. Maybe not give them quite as free reign on the channel as possible. No, Smoking Otter is not a robot. He's actually been on the show before. So, I mean, maybe he's a really good bot, but I don't think so. He's too nice. He can't be a bot. So you've got a number of you've got a show specifically opinionated that you do. Do you have any other shows that you throw up, or like you do some gaming occasionally?
Well, yeah, I've been trying to get into gaming. It's just been a little hectic with my actual schedule right now. But opinion is a little easier for me because, let's just be honest, I'm better at observing and talking about things that people have a problem with than finding time to actually sit down and game. Especially because you yourself know that this takes a lot of effort to do. So
It does, and a lot of people wouldn't realize
yeah.
that just sitting in front of a camera with a light in your face and speaking intelligently for more than an hour is difficult for anyone. The real trick is not saying anything stupid, because people are trying to walk you down the garden path to make you agree to some stuff that you've never considered. And it's real difficult to stop the conversation and go, wait a second, I haven't thought of that.
Yeah.
I've never considered it. So we're going to have to put a pin in that. We'll come back to it after I've had a minute to think about it, and then move on with the conversation without breaking the panel. So let me do my little thing I do. We generally get to it a little sooner, but here we are. A carpenter's journey gets the gold. Watt Life gets the silver. And the next one's way down. You're on the show, so you don't qualify, so you can't get one. And Andrew Langlois gets the bronze. Welcome in, folks. Good to see you. We got American 101 in chat. Locksmith Jeremy. The Smoking Auditor has joined the chat. I like to see him around. Yawn God's in chat. That's awesome. One Big Pond. Been seeing them around a bit. I don't know if it's because we're going to the same places or like the same stuff. One thing or the other, right?
Could be.
Okay, so clearly you're working this into a brand. You have something of a plan, if not. What up, Dan Ditso? Welcome in, bud. If it's not completely ironed out, you see the opportunity before you. You have the capability of making it happen. As long as you don't break your channel, you should be fine eventually. The trick is to get you in front of the right people to mention you to the right people. Right?
That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
It's not a matter of YouTube sharing your content, and you know it, right? So you've got to get in there, into the streets, into the freaking trenches, and you're gonna have to stand there and take the heat. Have you come across Joe Cool yet?
No, but he is a consistent name that's been popping up around me.
All right. So, and this is not a warning. I love Joe Cool to death. Don't misunderstand. That's my little spoon when I'm cold. He got two of my kids. What I'm getting at is this. He has an amazing ability to take a premise that is ordinarily perfectly understandable and turn it into something completely absurd by taking it to a logical extreme. He also has the ability to take something that sounds absurd and make it sound perfectly ordinary. And that is an amazing talent. And I am more interested in how you react to him than I am in his opinion of you. If you catch my drift, because a lot of people don't know how to take Joe, and I love him to death, but what can you do, man? He's Joe gonna joke. I don't know what to tell you, but when that happens, I want the link to that. When he ends up trying to corner you on something, because I got a sneaking suspicion I know how that's going to turn out, but I can't wait to see it. Right.
Interesting.
All right, let's do some housekeeping. Hold on one second. I've got a number of freaking videos over here that are yours. I have Vivek Ramaswamy claims Biden won't be 2024. Is that your first upload?
No, it's not my first upload.
Okay. Life's obstacles are not barriers finished. Is that your first upload?
No.
Okay, so figuring it out, or it should be figuring it out, right?
Yeah, that's one of my
public uploads.
Yeah, that's one of my
earliest.
Yes, one of my earliest ones.
All right. So that one should be in the second slot. A little bit of housekeeping over here, folks. Don't get mad. And I can't move it because it sucks, and I hate this freaking format. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go with your most viewed, which I think is obstacles. Life's obstacles, I think. Let me make sure.
Yeah, actually, the figuring it out was actually. Yeah, that's was my first. Yeah, you're right. That's my first one.
Okay, so that's your first one. Good deal. So this one should be your most viewed. I usually have this worked out, but recently they changed how the playlists work, right? And I can't shuffle them around like I used to. I could just put them wherever I wanted to, and now I can only move them like 2 slots, and then everything gets weird. I don't know. Anyway, screw that bullshit. Vivek Ramaswamy claims Biden won't be the 2024 candidate, and it turns out you were completely right. Now, in general, this part of the show goes over the visuals of your content, the way you put it together, any editing, if there is some, which this doesn't have any because it's pretty much dropped right off the live stream in it. Nope. Yep. Oh. Wait, did it go back? No, it's the same one. That's right. Okay.
Time, baby. Let's see.
So what I'm getting at here is you have the delivery, you have the framing, you have the background, you've got the sound, you've got the voice, you've got the everything but the turtleneck. You're a turtleneck away from being NPR.
Oh gosh.
Think about it, dude. This is like some in between the firms type stuff, right? This is the kind of stuff we used to watch when we were kids at 2 o'clock in the morning, high as hell, trying to find something to watch. And there was nothing on but public access television. Some random dude who's talking about something you've never heard of, but it's like, no, I get it. The rainforest frogs do need our help. You know, it's kind of the same concept when we're on YouTube. It's the same idea. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have brought in guests, you do bring in panel members and stuff. I'm wondering if you're going to get into interviewing and what that might look like with a Resla interview.
So yes, I would like to get into interviewing. It'll be totally new to me. The only time I've ever interviewed anyone was just candidates to hire. So the actually doing an interview with someone very specific, like kind of what we're doing right now, would be new and it would be interesting. But I'm looking forward to when that opportunity shows up.
You have to make the opportunities in this field, bro. Nobody's going to give it to you.
I agree.
Add an interview show, say once a week, just some random anybody that you can find to sit in the other chair to give you 30 minutes or an hour of time to bounce something off of, and then you can fold into your open panel style. What's up, Snark and Sass? Welcome in. How far have you gotten into doing shorts?
Shorts is still something that I'm really kind of struggle on. I mean, me just doing my videos, it's a lot of work just me doing by myself. Yes, when I have the time. And then my problem with shorts is that it's kind of clipped from either short form videos that I've done or actual live streams. I would like to put more time into an actual short, but that right there is just already a monster in itself to have that form of video.
In order to try to use your own content for your own shorts, there's a bit of a hamstring in that thought process. No, it's not a bad idea, but keep in mind, when you clip a short from something, you take the total number of subscribers of the source you clip it from versus the total number of subscribers of your channel. Those people are the people who get some of the notifications, if any goes out, because YouTube determines that entirely in their own head. Whether or not you get a notification on this particular short, nobody knows. Then based off of those two numbers, you can generally come up with a ballpark figure of what the short should do. Anything above that number, you've made a good entertaining short. Anything below that number, and maybe the thumbnail was wrong, or the title was wrong, or the clip was wrong, or something could be tinkered with there. Because we're dealing with an algorithm, typically when you first start doing stuff, you'll get a lot of success at that one thing just because what you're doing is new. And that's the tricky part. You got to throw something new at it. It can be difficult, but it's not as much work, but it is more work than most people think. And that's true in both directions.
Well, the reason why I'll even say to this, the reason why I even saw this particular video of just having that kind of views, it is because of the political cycle that we had.
Sure. I mean, there's no reason not to grab a hold to the freaking political wave. If you've got an opportunity, take it. Look at Midlife Burlogic. He comes on, does my show. He's got 450 subscribers or something. 2 weeks later, he's throwing down 2,000 subscribers and picking up another couple of hundred every week. And I've tried to explain to him, he thinks this is normal. And I tell him, I'm like, look, this is a political cycle. You're doing political content. When that politics goes away, you have to find something to float your content. Milk it for every single subscriber it's worth. Monetize as hard and as heavy as you can while you can. But when the political cycle goes, so doth the content. Now we got Donald Trump, and I'm pretty sure the comedy is going to write itself.
Agreed. I'm looking forward to seeing what's actually gonna take place. I think this is what a lot of people want. I've already been taking a look at social media and just see how everybody's reacting who is not necessarily ecstatic about it. So I've been laughing at least for the last
few hours. I have collected so many liberal tears I will be able to make cookies and cakes and all sorts of goodly tasting things for my consumption. It's just an ever flowing font of absolute meltdown tears, and I love it. I don't have a problem with snowflakes. It's just when they get creaky and loud.
Yeah. Like I said,
But
like,
I don't know
it is.
what
We're
else.
also Americans. You voted for who you want to vote for. That's fine. It's just your reaction is just comical to me.
It is comical. And if you go look at the description on my channel, it says quite clearly, I'm here to laugh at everyone equally. Right there in the description. So when you find me laughing at you, don't get upset. Right? Things like this. Hold up. I'm going to back that out. Minimize that doohickey. It's things like this. This is the kind of thing that people could get angry about. Your response was to laugh.
I would have to pump it up.
I'm a nasty nigga. I'm a nasty.
Can I clip this? My man is possibly a little painfully honest in some cases. I can appreciate it, and I get what you're saying there. You're not talking about being dirty. You're talking about being with women, and that's perfectly acceptable. Taken out of context, however, it sounds horrible, right? Yeah. Personally, I love it because I was there. I got to see it, and it's hilarious. And you know the context of it. I know the context of it. There's 20 people in chat right now going, what the fuck did I just watch? What was that? Right? And that's kind of the point of this show, is to demonstrate some of the things that work, some of the things that don't when trying to set up a show. Format is 90% of a show. Without a decent, solid format, it's difficult to lay out topics in a way that are topical, right? So I've got a couple of bits that I do with each one of us when we're doing these. And earliest possible video, we're going to watch this thing. It's only 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 30 seconds. And I got to press a button before we do it. And it's mainly because I didn't just start this channel because I love freaking content creators. I did it because I'm a paleontologist.
You know about cars? Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
Welcome in, Eddie Canny. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, no, you got to get you a few clips, a few buttons to push. You got to make it confusing so that you make errors and everybody can laugh at you. After that, you'll have a show. Right? Yeah. Also, as soon as someone actually gives you a ring light, you're officially a YouTuber.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm not sure. That's what somebody told me. And I was like, well, that sounds like bullshit. And like the very next weekend, someone randomly in my life showed up and was like, oh, you doing YouTube here? And gave me this big ring light that they use on my green screen. So maybe it's true. Also, if someone named Beak shows up, I've been told that means you've made it.
Who?
Beak. He's been around. I've seen him in several chats, but I've had several people be like, that guy knows what's going on or whatever. And if he shows up, you've made it. I'm like, all right, I've made it. Yay. Yep. We're there. I kind of felt like it'd be a bit bigger, which is what she said.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel where we pretty much cut through the BS and noise and we talk about the things that actually do matter in life. And today's episode, basically calling it Life's Obstacles Are Not Barriers. Before you even think about clicking away, for you, I can already feel it right now. You know, oh great, this is gonna be one of those damn motivational speeches. Just hang tight. Because this isn't about sugarcoating struggles. I'm not gonna be sitting there telling you just gotta think positive. That's not what's gonna happen. It's gonna be
that's a good point. You're not a life coach channel. You're not Red Pill. You're not any of those things that could pigeonhole your channel into being a particular thing, which is impressive. It's hard to do that. Most people fall in a hole somewhere and have difficulty climbing out. And you seem to be just skimming right across the top of all these definitions and not getting hooked in by any particular one. I'm proud of you. I'm impressed.
Appreciate it.
And you've been doing a few shows here recently. You've done something of a mock debate with Mel's Pandora. Weren't you over on Rage of Tomato a couple of days ago? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Okay.
No.
I
have not shown my mug on Sarah yet.
We might have to get over there. We might have to do raid. We might have to raid the castle together. Lay siege to the channel. Storm the gates. That's right. What's up, Alex Dunn? Welcome in, bud. Appreciate you coming through. Ross, you not that Christine. See, you're collecting people already. Look at you.
Oh, I know not that Christine.
Yeah. So in the future, like, let's hypothetically say you say something especially poignant tonight. Tomorrow you wake up and have 1 million subscribers. What happens then? Does it change anything? What do you do?
It does. Because the first thing I think of myself, I would start running so many assessments in my head. First of all, I'm a small channel. What the heck would I know what to do with that typhoon? What exactly was that moment? What exactly are the chances of having that replicate? Like, I would have and then you got to worry for all the good stuff we're looking at with the 1 million subscribers. We got to worry about all the bad things that also couple with it. How am I going to deal with that?
Right.
Who exactly are these people? Why do they think that they know what? And then I have to think about it this way: they come to my channel. I have 1 million subscribers now. They say they take a look at my old stuff. They could also just easily go because they realize, oh, this is not what I'm really here for.
In fact, that's kind of how it goes typically. When you do something that is new, interesting, and different, a bunch of people show up, they all subscribe, and then the rest of what you're doing is either like that new, interesting thing, or it's like what everyone else is doing. I don't have a problem using other people's shows as inspiration for a show. And I will even, if under the right circumstances, we can recreate shot for shot a show, provided the show is different enough that it's not just a remaking of that show, right?
Yeah.
We have to have a limit on our imitation. Imitation may be the greatest form of flattery, but it's also the most boring form of content on YouTube.
Yes,
so
I agree. I mean, the best of copy from someone.
Sure. And almost every show on YouTube was, cribbed out from some other YouTuber, either bigger or smaller. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's what you do with that format, what you do with that content, right? A lot of people come up on these panels and they are content. Right? They're not here for their channel. They're not here for their brand. They're not here to make money or to make your content better. They merely show up, open their freaking cock holster, and start spewing wind out of a tree hole. No one should bother paying attention to it, primarily because they don't care enough to say it on their own channel. That makes it slightly less valuable than somebody who is also tied into the same stream, who also has the same dreams, who has the same branding concepts in their head. Creator thoughts.
Right.
And if you encounter people without creator thoughts, I'm not saying kick them out. I'm not saying stop interacting with them, but move them from the primary positions in the channel. They're not having creator thoughts. They will not help your channel in the future. They're just excited to be along for the ride, and they will function just as well in your non-official shows, right? In this case, this is my flagship show. Sasquatch Shields is here to try to find creators that are putting in the work, putting in the effort, and doing something a little bit different. What's up, Lawless? Welcome in, bud. In a world. He's about the only guy on YouTube that has a better voice than I do, man. Like that man has a whole bunch of wet panties in his neighborhood, let me tell you. So you have to go through the content you have at your disposal, all of the people that could be on your panels, all of the suspected people, right? There are some people who are obviously not here for upfront and honest interactions. They're here to publish a narrative. So maybe thin out certain topics on one side or the other just to keep the panel going smoothly. You know the people that cause problems. You know the people that tend to yell everyone down. Uh, and you can do whatever you want with your channel, bro. I will never tell you you're wrong, right? I'm not going to just bald facedly say no, you can't do that unless it's a terms of service violation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to go, you could do that, and try to offer some other solution to whatever the issue is. In most cases, backstaging someone or one of these things, and this is probably one of the things Flow State does best. So the panel's getting a little bit freaking rowdy.
I gotta bounce. Thanks a lot for proving just how ugly and immature you are. It's been real. And just so you know, I don't really care about your problems.
Right? Just to clarify where everybody stands on the topic, Now, whether they are particularly tailored to the topic in hand, or you do one for a show and only use it for that show, or whatever, however you want to do it, that's your base. That's what you do. What I do is throw ideas at you like a ball of spaghetti until something sticks. Just constant. And the whole point here is to get you monetized.
Yeah, I can admit that a lot of my time I'm really trying to figure out where people are coming from because, like I said, I've been in this for a little while. So communication, as much as people try to say I'm really trying to be on it, it's a thing that I'm constantly always battling with because of like anyone else, we all have our own particular thoughts, we have our own perspective, we have our own biases, and unless I have to really engage with someone in that type, I try to provide a show, or at least setting the framework for the show ahead of time before we start opening up the panels to try to show two sides of the argument and then ask just really simple questions. That's all. And there will be people who come in that you will get people who come in who will have their own particular agendas, or I've been known to right now knock some people down when they come in and they don't even know what the hell the show's about.
Right.
I try to be nice and try to give them stuff.
That is totally your prerogative. If you want people to listen to the show for a few minutes before you bring them up, that's fine. Leave their ass backstage for 5 minutes. If they bring them up after 5 minutes and they don't know what's going on, deuce them the fuck out. They're obviously not interested. They're just here to talk whatever they were going to say before they showed up.
Right.
That's an excellent litmus test. You need to get you an overlay, something, maybe 2 or 3 to switch out for different days of the week. It'll help you keep track of it backstage when you're going through stuff, trying to edit. Depending on how many shows you end up doing a week and whether they're unique or the same show is up to you. I mean, you got to do that. I'm looking for somebody to do a current event show where basically me, a co-host, and maybe a third person from some weird freaking area of YouTube do a current events thing. We each go and get 3 stories, and we try to get through the 3 stories in about an hour and a half and build it organically from the inside, using clips from everybody's channels and applying it across the board and seeing how that works. I've tried it a couple of times. It's worked fairly well a few times. It's flopped a few times. It depends on the personalities of the people involved and how much time they have to put towards it and how committed they are to the concept. And I am a big guy from the swamp pretending to be a mythical creature, pretending to be a guy on YouTube. So how serious are you supposed to take me? I mean, I'm aware. I'm just saying, if it ain't having fun, what's the point?
That's correct. That's the 1000% thing I can agree with. Like, a lot of you don't get it. And here's the thing. I tell people, a lot of people up here, they make content. And a lot of people here, they just look at this as a business. And some people are up here that have fun.
Right. And having fun is fine.
Yeah. Because that's what really keeps me going back. That's what keeps me coming up and doing this more often. It's not, yes, I think as anyone, all creators, we would love to see growth. We love to see that explosion, of course. But at the same time, we want a community that's authentic, that actually loves what we're doing, and we want to enjoy that as well, because that's what makes us develop the content. If not, you would just put out, you would have find something stale, and you would just keep hitting it because people are just showing up anyway, right?
Right.
To see that growth, to see the change, that's what I like.
Yeah, I dig it. Also, oh boy, there's some really activist people that are in this sphere, and these activist people, and they can be from any other sector of YouTube. They could be flat earthers, they could be freaking contract lawyers, they could be any number of things, and they're just fully activated on one particular point. I don't have a problem with that. I find that to be an intellectually stimulating channel, primarily because they are at least speaking from a perspective of honesty, even if it is stark raving, barking mad, right? Even if they're nuts, they think they're saying something worthwhile. And the psychological exposure that you get to those types of ideas gives you the necessary defense to be able to deal with them in the future. And it's better to come across these now than when you've got 10,000 subscribers and it gets clowned on whatever podcast or wherever, you know?
All right. Yeah. So something you said, and I've seen people in the chat, because this is something that happens a lot. They go, well, what sphere are you in? And I'm like, I don't have one. I'm a content creator. I don't have an area. I like to talk with people. I'm a conversationalist. I know, like, he's a debater. No, I'm a conversationalist.
You, sir, are a Renaissance man, as am I. What do they call them? A polymath. Too many specializations to be called a specialist, but far too in depth in any one of them to be called a generalist. And so I often get the statement, where the hell do you get this shit? And it's because I used to read encyclopedias.
Okay.
Right. So like somebody says something, it triggers a memory from when I was 8, sitting out in a freaking canoe reading the only books I had handy at the time, encyclopedias. So, it is kind of dated because it was the 1976 issue, but most physics don't change that much.
Nope. And that's still way ahead of the curve of what we see today. So
I'm dangerous with a slide rule, bro. All right, so you take that 1 million subscribers, you work out your merch, your sponsorships. How would you hypothetically, how would you handle sponsorships? I still say you should sell teeth.
What?
I've been telling you to sell teeth. You got at least one customer already on the hook. Sky will definitely buy a set of your teeth. Guaranteed. You can charge $40 for those things and just leave them over there and never explain it. And anyone who showed up and found your teeth for sale would be like, what the fuck? It'd be a great long-term troll. That's all I'm saying, bro. Some of that deep lore for a channel that you just don't have yet,
Right. Oh, so the thing about, you said, merch and sponsorships, that's all new to me. And yes, I should really try to have a plan for that. But I'm not a marketing specialist. No, I really don't know anything about product sales. I am a communications and compliance person. My job is to make sure that the rules stay the way they are and that people are aware of what the rules are.
Wow, that kind of explains a lot, bro. Seeing the way you interact with people, that actually makes an awful lot of sense. You're using technically accurate maneuvers and methods to tone people down. You're backing them up without them realizing it. You lead them down the garden path without any effort whatsoever. And I love it. I absolutely love it. The only issue I have is occasionally you get a little bit spurred. Somebody will get in on a topic that you actually care about and you'll go harder into the paint than maybe you intend to. I can see it on your face right after you say it, just like that previous clip I played, just a little further into the paint than you consciously decided to go. If we can rein that tendency in just a hair, dude, you're real good. You're real close. Just a hair, right? Just chop off the parts where you don't go hard enough and parts where you go too hard, and you would have a safe channel.
So that's where I agree. That's also the part where some people find it very entertaining as well, because I have developed, I've had this alter ego that's been somehow adopted, which is funny because it's still the same guy. But like I try to be as measured as I can in my content, and to the point where I'm still me, but I try to not be as heavily biased as I know everyone is. So when that door gets cracked open, you're actually getting a little bit more of what I'm really thinking versus what I'm actually trying to put out. And that's
really not a bad thing. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. That has its place. It's just too early to be bringing that monster out of the closet, because you've got him shackled in real nice and tight and snug, and every now and then he gets a claw out the door and starts wiggling it around. And I like it. It's interesting. I think it will be more interesting later in your career when you have more experience and can turn that monster loose intentionally, right? When it becomes your attack dog instead of something you have to protect yourself from. I think that's going to be interesting to see.
Well, the thing about it is that I'm comfortable with my monster. That's what really puts me where I'm at. With that being said, because I'm comfortable with him, that coin can flip real quick, and I'm just like, this is not it. And if I turn my head and I'm not paying attention, he might go at it. And that they have dubbed that side of me Tesla.
Yeah. I'm gonna have fun with that one, bro. We're gonna enjoy the hell out of that. That's 2 channels with the effort of 1. Why not? So all right. You've got what, 300 and some change? 302, 320, something like that.
Yeah, as of now, it is 329, 330.
Good deal. All right. So over the next few weeks, do you have any changing ideas, any developing plans, anything you plan on promoting especially?
No, like I know people like to put an extreme amount of time into working on the content. It's not that I don't want to. So I try to plan things out in quarters. How I want things to change over. Where am I in terms of that? Do we want to change a look? Are we going to ask them to a look? Do we want to change a format? How are we going to do that? Do we want to start incorporating people? If I want to do interviews, what should the interviews look like? Like these are all things that I have in quarterly blocks. So it's not necessarily a week to week thing.
Okay. Well, that's really interesting. I'll have to think on that a little bit. We've got the Winter chat.
It gives me time to work on. It gives me time to work not just on my channel. It gives me time to work on the audience. It gets them acclimated. So what the message really is, because if I'm switching on a week-to-week basis, so can the message.
I hear what you're saying. There's a couple of channels out there. I give them the advice to limit their exposure because they are diluting their message. What they are trying to do is being diluted by being seen on so many different channels that nobody sees any point in subscribing to your channel, because you're just going to be on all these other channels. And I'm already subscribed to 3 of those. Why should I subscribe to you?
Correct.
Other people are so testy about their content that they won't share it anywhere and want to get ill when somebody tries to clip it or wants to use some part of it or do a reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube has nothing to do with the First Amendment. There is no First Amendment on YouTube. If you thought there was, you are smoking way too much of that CIA crack. You need to back off it, set down that glass dick, and take a serious thought about the fact this is a private corporation. And you need to get your head out your ass. There's no First Amendment here. Stop being silly. These people can damage a channel because they have no respect for YouTube, your brand, your message, your channel, your image, none of that. They will say some shit just to clip it so they can use it against you. Just saying, be careful out there, bro. These lions and tigers and trolls, oh my.
Yeah, I'm aware, which is why when I have people that come up, I don't always know who's showing us my platform. Again, still developing. So I try, even when I get a new face up there, a new name up there, I'm literally trying to run a show and literally trying to do research at the same time.
I hear you. I cheat, and let me tell you how I cheat. I've interviewed so many people on this channel, on this Sasquatch Shields show, and I work with most of the people that I've interviewed to some extent or another. And whether it's troll advice or research advice or anything, any number of things, we can work it out together if you want to know. We'll figure it out. And that puts me backstage in a lot of places that people don't know I'm there. And so I get to see things that people don't realize are being seen, you know. And and it might be some metagaming, this whole situation, but I use the information at my disposal to determine who I'm going to interview and who I'm not, who I'm willing to work with and who I'm not. Right. And we may have a disagreement tomorrow that sets us at cross purposes, but I'll still try to answer the freaking questions honestly. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to agree on everything to work together. It's what a lot of people don't understand.
A lot of people don't get that.
Also, a lot of people have a problem with taking a back seat when it comes to certain levels of creativity. Like they want absolute creative control, and I can respect that. That is perfectly acceptable. It's your channel, boss. Do what you want with it, right? That being said, if somebody cannot just has a psychological incapability of taking suggestions or takes those suggestions as criticism, it's a lot harder to give them to them when they're always going to be mad about it. I got one who shall remain nameless. I can call him up on the phone. I have his personal number. 2:00 in the morning, he'll be up. He'll answer the phone. I can run by an idea on him, and he'll give me 1,000 reasons why that won't work. He will go home. Needed one. To bed. He only needed one, right? One was fine. He'll go to bed, sleep on it, wake up the next morning, complain about it all day long, go to bed again, and then the next morning he wakes up with a brilliant idea. He has this amazing idea, no idea where it came from, and he'll come out and do exactly what I suggested. But I understand why he's like that and how this is going to work, and so it doesn't really upset me when I see it happen. I just giggle, and I might show it on my channel and just not mention it, put it up there silent while we're talking and stuff. It's funny.
I definitely know a lot of people just like that we're talking about. So my style, even in terms of leadership, when I lead teams, is that I do a servant leadership style. I'm willing to hear everybody's opinion, and then I'm the last one who makes the decision based on all of the research given to me. Rather than just say you do it my way, it's say let's see who has the best strategy. And let's just say if I pick something that's not necessarily yours, if it doesn't work out, we have another option.
Right? There's a plan B. I always have a plan B, alpha C. Like I got my backup plans have backup plans. I run my channel on the concept of game theory. I believe YouTube is a zero-sum game, and the only way to win is not to play.
Correct.
So having decided to play the game, I utilize everything from Sun Tzu to the laws of power to manipulate the system to my benefit.
Yeah.
If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
I hear what you're saying. I hear exactly what you're saying. This has been, like I said, this has been new for me. Usually, I'm not the person who likes to be the guy. You know, I don't try to opt to be president. I opt to be chief of staff. I want to be in the background. Like I don't like to be the forefront person. But this is for me trying to acclimate, because it's weird to just now all of a sudden it's just me. And I'm like, I'm looking for a cabinet. I'm like, I don't really have it right now. I gotta figure this all out. I have to be my best advisor.
Absolutely. And one thing that we're all doing when we start a channel, and this is something a lot of people don't think through. When you start a channel, every single one of us was a small content creator at first. We may have all had an idea of what we wanted to do, some people more so than others, but none of us knew how it was going to turn out. And so the one thing I try to tell everyone who comes through, don't get hung up on trolls. If somebody comes in your chat talking some kind of spicy shit, you have two choices. You can either deuce them out on a timeout, or you can block them and decide what to do with them later. Either way, It's your choice, and it is the best choice for someone who's unsure how to deal with it. The worst thing you can do when somebody comes in talking trash or laying some garbage at your feet that may or may not be your own is to react to it. When you react to a troll, you are willingly putting a nose ring in your nose and handing them the string. And every time they pull that string, you will turn your head and look straight at them and respond. You have to not do that. No matter how loud and squeaky they get, the more they rage trying to get you to react, the better it will advertise your channel. Your haters define you better than the people who like you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Let me hit you with a thought experiment. If I had these two YouTubers you've never heard of, and I gave you a list of people that like them, would you be able to choose which one you'd rather associate with? Maybe, perhaps. But if I gave you a list of the people that hated them, you could almost certainly immediately decide whether you want to be involved in that channel or not.
Yeah.
One of them little sweet names will pop up on that list and you'll just go, no, nah, I'll go with the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right about that.
So it's a lot of people think about their channels backwards. They think about where they're wanting to go. Or some of them think that they're already there and just waiting for the crowd to show up. The trick to all of this is to ride a rail between the two. You have to be producing a final product while developing a better product. And that's a difficult thing to do. You're thinking about next quarter while doing this quarter. This quarter squared away. You've got all the nuts and bolts in place. You can just do it on autopilot without any effort, additional effort, other than the researching of each of the shows. That's brilliant. I love it. You might get a bit of more of a dynamic punch out of your individual shows if you broke your quarters down a little bit just to get that 28-day algorithm bump. Anything longer than 28 days in the algorithm might as well be next century. So you kind of want to get a theme rolling through it if possible. I don't know. Depends on how you think about things and how you feel about things. And so that's on you to determine what it is you want to do with it. My help comes in on trying to figure out the best way to deliver it to the largest number of people. I want to sell you, bud. How do you feel about that?
So the way how I've been looking at it is like, because I'm already going to know how I feel about it. I'm always trying to figure out how other people are feeling about it. And then is it based on the very limited information that they have? Are they just simply just trying to be stubborn? That's typically the route that I'm trying to go. I already know what I'm thinking. I'm wondering, what are they thinking?
So we'll get together after the show at some point in time. We'll put together a handful of clips, find out what type of movies and videos you particularly like. And I want you to make a mental list. The coldest shut up line, the mic drop line, the one that shut everyone in the room up, the coldest line you've ever heard, the most savage line you've ever heard, and then that one clip from a movie that just makes you giggle maniacally. Doesn't matter where they're from, what they are. We'll work around copyright and everything. We'll figure it out. You don't have to come up with them right now. Just keep that in mind. And in the future, when you go, oh yeah, that scene, like one of mine, the scene in The Professional, Leon, if it's European, where Glenn Oldman has just realized he's dealing with a problem. And he turns and looks at his secretary and goes, I need you to bring me everyone. And the guy grabs the phone and picks it up, stops and goes, everyone. And he just screams at the top, everyone. I want the DEA. I want the CIA. I want the DOD. I want the DOJ. I want the marshals. You can see that thought process in his head while he's screaming like, you're such an idiot. I said everyone. I want the drug dealers. I want them dope boys running on the corner. I want the guy with the hand grenades. all of it, right? Bring me everybody. And I love that scene. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I missed that movie. I haven't seen it in so long.
Oh, it's great. That was the day. That movie was the reason I fell in love with the chick who played Padme, Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
she plays the little girl in that movie. And when I watched it, I worked at movie stores most of my life, and so when that movie came out, I remembered someone saying something about Leon, and I was like, "This doesn't look like Leon." I plugged it in, dude. I was lost the very second it started. That girl nailed that role so perfectly. It was amazing. And he's teaching a 12-year-old to be an assassin. Come on, what's not to love, bro? Talk about girl power.
exactly.
Oh my God, that's beautiful, bro. And you've got the lone wolf pup story, the classic Kurosawa setup, only it's inverted and on its head. Homie's basically a samurai. Dude, there's so many analogies that can be run through that movie. It's a good one.
Back when movies were great.
Right? Or European, one or the other.
Or European.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the Hindi flicks that's been coming out of Bollywood?
I can't with Bollywood movies. I can't with them. I can't.
I can respect that. I spent a lot of time looking into things like the Mahabharata and whatnot, a lot of Indian subculture lore. And I don't know, I'm intrigued by it. So when I see one of those wild, like the dude who just flies along dodging bullets while dancing, that's fucking awesome. It makes me laugh so hard. I shouldn't laugh. What's up, NPC, the game? That's right. Let's see. What does he say? That is sound advice for a channel having long-term goals and short-term goals on your radar at all times. Right. I think going a quarter out on that renders some of your short-term goals unattainable because you're much less likely to consider it in the near term. And your consideration of near term is 4 months away or 3 months away, you know?
Yeah.
So and this is just me speaking out my bunghole. Just consider this. Use your short content for your short term. If you find something on shorts, look at the remix button on your phone. If it's there and it's funny, it makes you giggle, you get it, you got to think you got a good reaction to it or a response or however you want to do it your way, bro. Your way. I use jokes. I might be a little too funny for YouTube. I keep catching strikes by just laughing. I don't even own a fucking horse. I don't own an alligator. I ain't hurt no animals, but they keep hitting me with a promotion of cruelty to animals. And all I do is laugh. I just find something that's obviously funny, ask what level of Florida that is, and laugh, and they hit me with a strike. So I haven't been doing a whole lot in shorts recently. I'm still under a strike, as a matter of fact. Which is a whole nother conversation we'll have after the show. Do you know what you've done?
Sorry?
You did a show. The whole thing. And flawlessly, I might add.
Which show was that?
Absolute gem. Yeah, no. Most guests come in, they start giggling about halfway through, and I lose track of what the conversation is because we all get off on a tangent. This one went pretty good. There's no topic for your channel, so we can stay on topic. No problem. Yes, that's called failing forward, son. We'll work on that in the after show too. I'm going to throw you up top, big screen. Tell everybody what a lovely time it was. Now, this is going to end it on your channel. The show will continue over here as an open panel. Assuming you don't have any complaints with anyone coming up. I don't generally have complaints with people coming up, but the reason I'm ending it on your channel is twofold. One, that gives you a complete episode of Sasquatch Shills already edited on your channel. I don't have to touch it or send you anything. That's good. And two, the copyrighted stuff that I'm going to be used from here on out probably shouldn't be on a channel planning to monetize.
That's fair.
It's as much protecting you as it is protecting the poor ears of your clientele. So here, tell everybody who you is, what you do, what you're doing, and why you do it.
All right, everyone. I really enjoyed this, and I will be sticking around. I want to have a conversation with you guys. You get to know me a little better. Once again, I have a show. It's called Opinionated. It's on my channel. You can see it at Resla. Pretty sure Sasquatch already has pretty much linked in the description or even on the actual chat. But check it out. What I do is, like I said before, we come through thought-provoking conversations. We try to get into a lot of critical thought, and we challenge a lot of talking points and a lot of narratives, and we try to go through what's on the minds of everyday people, looking at everyday things, and just challenging if the things that they're hearing when they talk to other people, is it really their opinions, or are they just talking what someone else is giving them? Are they parroting rather than actually having their own foundational thoughts? That's it.
Magnificent. I'm going to set you backstage for a second. Have me a little say with the chat, and I'll be right back with you. Go brush your hair or whatever you need to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been one episode of Sasquatch Shills. That's been Sasquatch Shills Resla. Go check him out. He's actually got a really interesting thing going on. I actually dig it quite a lot. And I found him way early on. I sat on this one because I had suspected it might be worthwhile. So check it out. Don't miss it. But I love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister. But if y'all give me any trouble tonight, I'll run every damn one of y'all off this mountain.
Sorry. Good news, though. We're going to have to move the party somewhere a little bit more private, but you're all invited. Lorenzo will give you the details. Yeah!
But if I lay down